What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp. Welcome to Fightful. It is March 13th, 2023. I have Denise Salcedo here. We are reviewing WWE Monday Night Raw en route to WrestleMania in Denise's backyard, by the way. WrestleMania is. We're not in her backyard tonight.
Kind of you are, though.
I mean, you are.
You're
like
not half of the stream is from my backyard.
That's true. Okay, you know what? You're right. From Denise's backyard is this stream, but we're here. We're talking WWE Raw. We're talking some of the news we broke today. It was a banner day on FightfulSelect.com. We will brag about that and try to get $5 out of you later on. But hey, if you want to donate before then, you can do that. Super chats and humper chats. YouTube.com/Fightful right here. Not only do you get great interviews, news shows, reviews every day. I ain't got to plug it. It's all there. You can get your question or statement read here on the air. You can also go to humperchats.com. That allows you to get them in before we go on the air or while we're on the air as well. Our great moderator, Luis, puts them down. And we got Trey Cash hitting us up about one of the stories we broke on FightfulSelect.com. You heard it rumored or discussed or thrown about, but this is a story I'd actually been working on for about a week now. There was a pitch about, I don't know if it was to Austin or if it was internally, regarding Stone Cold Steve Austin and LA Knight, at least. This is the third WrestleMania pitch that I have personally heard of, Denise. There was one regarding Brock Lesnar last year that wasn't for as much money as Austin would have liked, I'm sure. Well, he ain't taking those bumps anyway. There was one for Roman Reigns that was for a lot of money, and I think it's better for everybody that didn't happen because what we have now is pretty good. But LA Knight, and when I think of, who would be a good opponent or good dance partner for Stone Cold Steve Austin, I've honestly always thought that LA Knight would be a good one because of the charisma matchup. Like, obviously, they're not on the same cachet as far as name value or anything, but I feel like LA Knight is the kind of guy that a person who's like, let's watch that WrestleMania and see Steve Austin in the ring with this guy, they'd be like, oh, he's pretty good too. What did you think of when you heard about this, Denise?
Not to be like a jerk or anything, but honestly, look, when it comes to Stone Cold Steve Austin, like, we're not talking just about anybody, okay? This is a guy who just, came back after years and years of us never thinking we were ever going to see Stone Cold Steve Austin ever again, wrestle in the ring. And then better yet, to get him at WrestleMania. It's a big freaking deal. And that match with Kevin Owens was a big freaking deal. All of it was a big freaking deal. So with that being said, I would want to see him against an opponent that is a big freaking deal.
Well, so, I don't know if it was a match necessarily. I don't know that for sure.
Regardless.
I assume
if it's a match, for sure would have to be somebody else. I'm sorry, it would have to be somebody else.
I would like it.
If it was like a promo off, okay, this would actually be like a something for LA Knight to show his skills and to shine. But for an actual matchup, no, I would definitely want a different opponent.
I think that could be very good, even if it led to like a quick 5-minute brawl. Like, I think it could be fun. I think it could be, and LA Knight ain't going to lose anything by losing to Austin either. But I think that LA Knight could be one of those people that makes the most out of losing to Steve Austin. Like, he could let it fester and affect him. But I think people want to like LA Knight. Like, people really badly want to do the thing with him. But I could see them doing what. I think eventually, Denise, the chants overcome the what chants. And in promos, you have fans going, every time.
I'm not there yet, Sean.
I don't want them to.
I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet at all. Like, I am so far from being there. So far. And I'm sorry, but look, no offense, but if Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania, I want to see something like big time that I didn't think that we were going to get to see. If anything, we're running, like, for me, I feel like There are so many things that we have not gotten to see in wrestling that I feel like now that this is going to sound like so sad, but now that I'm getting older, I'm wanting to take advantage of seeing things before, people retire, before people really can't, come back and do things. So I would like to see, Austin against somebody that, or in an interaction with somebody that is, a big time deal, someone that I could be really excited about and go, damn, I didn't know that was going to happen. That's so cool.
Okay, well, what do you think about the two of them?
No. Sean, it's not going to happen.
Denise, I was the originator. I got you a year and a half ago with
I don't even remember.
Oh, I got you with Bofa.
The Bofa one. I remember the Bofa one. Yeah.
It was,
yeah.
Of course you did. Of course you did. It motivated you, Denise.
Oh, yeah.
Trey
a whole
says,
year later,
Denise, why'd you do my boy Will like that? Every time I drove past Wendy's this weekend, I just shook my head.
And then I got him twice later on. I was talking with my sister and I was telling her about it. And we were just fucking around. We were laughing. And I'm like, hey, do you think I can get him again?
Quit saying F word on the stream, Denise.
I'm sorry. It wasn't like a harmful F word. It was a nice F word.
YouTube sees them as all harmful.
No, they actually changed the rules now, Sean. In case you didn't know, they've updated the rules. They no longer demonetize people for naughty language.
Naughty logs? What?
Naughty language. I couldn't get the language in, but they don't do that anymore. And I know this because I follow these accounts that update on everything going on YouTube related.
Okay. I have a new partner manager. I should probably get to him.
Yeah, go ask and see how many F words we can get in before we get demonetized and have a little counter for me.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I wasn't expecting to get Will again, and then I did, and then I felt very proud, and it gave me the confidence I needed for the day.
Kaijian Chisholm says, will LA Knight have a Mania match or something? That's what we're discussing now. That's what I think. He should. I honestly wouldn't hate him being like a co-host of Mania
I would prefer him over The Miz.
Because that's what we saw earlier was Kathy Kelly asking about a potential co-host, and then The Miz got cut off. Jambeard says, I could see it being very similar to the KO match where it started out from the KO show. Only problem is if it's a match, Knight ain't nowhere near the level of what KO is. Well, I mean, but this doesn't need to be a WrestleMania main event match. Austin coming out of retirement for the first time in 19 years was that. But if you guys don't remember, a couple years later, I believe he did a segment with Eugene and Muhammad Hassan and Daivari even. So it doesn't always have to be like the top thing.
Yeah. So also I wanted to ask you, have you heard anything about Pat McAfee? What's he doing for WrestleMania?
I haven't. I assume they'll try to get him for commentary. But I don't know. Jambeard says, dear step host, is that a naughty dog? What?
I don't get it.
Oh, a naughty log.
Okay.
That makes a little bit more sense. Thank you. Sir Brendo says,
Sean, what are those windows?
You're not going to get it, Denise.
God damn it.
You're not going to get it.
I should have waited longer. I wasted a good one. I wasted a good one.
Denise, you'll never get, and you never have.
I was hoping you'd fall for it because of the reflections in your thing. I'm like, maybe he'll think I'm talking about the reflections.
Denise, you want to know where you screwed up? You were literally the person who told me not to put the fronts on those because I would get reflections.
No, but the light could be misconstrued for a reflection. So I was hoping you'd fall for it. I feel there's going to be a lot of tension. Honestly, I feel a lot of pressure right now.
I bet you do. Sir Brendo says, not Raw specific. Are you excited for 2K23? Well, Denise and I got to play it a little bit. Rumble weekend. It is installing downstairs in my living room right now. So yeah, I'm excited to try it out, play it, see how it goes. I've heard great things so far. So Sheldon says, finish the story, Denise, because Will got you back yesterday on the After the Week show.
Yeah, also, but it's 2 for 1. I got 2 wins and I started the whole thing. So sorry, Will.
It says, how was your injury after hitting your head on the trunk?
Oh, yeah. The trunk fell on my head, man. I have like an almost chipotle right here. You can barely tell it's going down.
Jaden says, as a fan of Kirby's games, I can't help but to see a particular enemy and say, Waddle Dee's nuts. Jonathan Corona says, whoever buys WWE, do you think they'll continue to say PLE or they'll go back to be saying pay-per-view? And who's going to fight Bobby at Mania?
They better stick to PLE, by the way, because I practice really hard to get used to saying PLE.
So whenever I talk to somebody like a higher up in WWE, they are very clearly like, they say it all the time, PLE, PLE, PLE. And I've actually got a story on WWE PLEs coming to FightfulSelect.com this week. $5, best $5 in the business. Because I looked at their method, and all of their shows, Denise, are like Montreal, Puerto Rico, Saudi Arabia, London, like someplace they don't go. Well, I don't say they don't go often, but a lot of places that, you know, aren't in the United States, or in the case of Puerto Rico, haven't been in 18 years, or they're big stadium shows. They're like not just randomly doing like, well, here's Austin, Texas. They're just not doing that.
I'm happy about that. I like them going to new places.
It feels special.
Yeah.
Andrew A says,
bigger deal.
Any of you guys going to Stand and Deliver? Will you meet up with fans at Mania? I'll pay for an autograph. Ha, 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 ha. Lastly, when should we expect the card for each night? My brother wants to know what day Hell in a Cell will be on. They will probably let you know by probably the week before. I mean, they announced some, like Rollins and Logan Paul is going to be night 1. Reigns and Cody is going to be night 2, which we expected. I won't be at Mania. I'm flying back probably during Stand and Deliver or right before it. But I'm sure Denise will be in a press box there. But I don't sell autographs. If you all see me, just come say hi and we'll talk some wrestling or something.
Sean likes the attention. He'll do it for free.
Yeah, I will do it for free. I get $5 out of these wonderful people, Denise. What?
You're always like, oh yeah, hi, I'm Sean.
I like meeting people. What's wrong?
I'm just saying, that? You're always like, oh, hi, I'm Sean.
That's me. $5, please. Meet Normus says, hey, SRS, Denise is too shy to ask. Have you ever had a face full of pie? It's her newest kink. How was Raw? I got busy with my plants. Denise, do you want to explain yourself?
Have you had a full face of pie?
Oh, you're damn right I have.
There you go. You got the joke.
Okay, then. Good for you, Denise. That's all I can say. Anyway.
It'll take too long for me to explain.
Buddy, I think you explained.
No.
Anyway, Bobby Lashley posted a tweet earlier, and he said that he doesn't know who he's facing at Mania, doesn't know who it's going to be. Well, there was some rumors today about Bray Wyatt and FightfulSelect.com. I promise it'll be the last time I push it on this show. Subscribe. It's $5.
Bro, just tattoo it on your forehead.
I wish I could. I got a big ass forehead. Let's just put it right there. $5, please. The best $5 in the business. We reported that despite the rumors of Bray Wyatt having creative issues, we had this verified with a lot of people in WWE, sources that work with Bray. It's a physical issue. Members of creative were told it was an illness. They don't know when he'll be back. That's the long and short of it. And I had people that were like, oh, well, if it came from WWE PR, Denise, I can't speak for you, but I have yet to catch WWE PR lying to me. And if they did, name and shame them. It just wouldn't, that's not the way that this necessarily works. You're much more likely to get a no comment or just silence than just a lie, but they didn't comment on this story. These are people that work directly with Bray. So, I mean, this is a lot of people that I believe that have never been wrong about that before. And yeah, it wasn't a PR thing. It wasn't like WWE trying to put out a fire. It was me asking a bunch of people. And every time I asked, I got the same answer. And then I got it as confirmed as you can possibly get it. So
do you feel the story got blown out of proportion? Because I logged into Twitter and it was like, Bray Wyatt walked out of WWE, and I'm like, what's going on here? Like, what are you guys talking about? And then, so I'm doing my due diligence, and I'm like, okay, 2 and 2 is just not adding up with what is being said and what is being, what people are thinking that means.
So I'll address this. This person says, if I join Select, I don't pay for Super Chats. No, Super Chats are a completely different thing, but I do a Q&A show every week where you can get questions in over there as well. Also, Grapsity does one every 2 weeks. So I'm going to hit you guys with the order of events here. About, I want to say a week ago, I can't remember if it was before a Q&A show or if it was before the Backstage Report, somebody hit me up and they said, hey, Sean, Bray was supposed to be in Toronto at the live event. He wasn't there. I said, oh, okay, I'll look into that. And I started to look into it. It was very, very quiet. And it was, well, don't want to say anything yet type of thing. I get a lot of production info, like about WWE. If you guys notice, I post producer info, like some materials that are sent, backstage notes. I get live events reports. That's why I'm able to get this info about whenever WWE breaks their gate records or who's producing what match or how many segments a thing is supposed to go. I'm privy to a lot of that information. And one of the things was Bray's materials for, Howdy or Funhouse or any of that stuff hadn't been sent since the last week of February. Well, right after that is when they used that rehashed Muscle Man dance video, if you remember. He wasn't on the show last week. It was Bobby Lashley calling him out. So Bray hasn't been appearing on these shows. If he had creative differences and walked out, they would not continue to reference him on the air after he had already missed one show. That's just not the case. And, a lot of people, when I said an undisclosed physical issue, they were posting pictures from early February that he had posted with like a broken finger. Well, he had wrestled numerous times since then. So it was not that. Like just because you don't see him wrestle on TV, they use him as a live event attraction. The word attraction gets thrown around a lot. Like people are saying that about Omos. Bray Wyatt is an honest-to-God live event attraction where if you put on the match with LA Knight on SmackDown as a dark match, people are going to hang around and watch it. Or a live event, people are going to show up and watch it, stuff like that. So I was told it was WWE creative are told he's under the weather, ill, don't know when he'll be back. That's the long and short of it. That's what creative were told. They're going to let creative know, hey, he walked out. He hated what you all did. He said, fuck it, and left. But that's just not what happened. Now, I did continue to look into that, but it was constantly reiterated to me that just wasn't the case. And I don't know. FightfulSelect.com, guys. It allows you to gain information like that story, the Austin LA Knight story. We have tons of podcasts every single week. We had like 40 last month. And it allows you to ask questions on those stories, and I'll answer them directly. And if you happen to see Lufisto's tweet this morning, for people that are like, well, it's just gonna end up on the internet 5 minutes later. As you saw, sometimes when people aggregate that, they don't do it right. So just pay.
What happened? I didn't see that.
Ringside News had completely editorialized the story. We posted some of the possibilities for Jade's opponent. And we mentioned Lufisto was once in informal discussions to coach for AEW, but instead she ended up working a short tag match, didn't end up working out. Ringside News just editorialized the whole thing and posted, oh, well, she likely decided that she wanted to just wrestle instead. And I was like, whoa. We never said that because that ain't what happened. I know some more about what happened. And that wasn't it. And Lufisto called him out for it. So be careful where you get your aggregations. There are some places that are very, very good with it and some places that are very, very bad with it.
Yeah, I feel like this happens constantly with Ringside News. I remember the same thing happened with Naomi just not too long ago.
Yeah, and thankfully I was able to speak with her directly and able to sort that out. But honestly, there are some aggregators that I like a lot, but there is not one that's out there that I haven't had to be like, hey, this is incorrect. Like every single one of them has been like that. And I'm sure that we've had stuff like that too. So if there's anything that I want to promote, it is media literacy. Always do your best to get it from the original source. I'll never fault anybody for not being able to subscribe or not wanting to subscribe. But if you're a dick about it, I'm probably going to be a dick back to you about it.
How dare you paywall this information, Sean?
Yeah, I got people acting like I'm like posting the like cure for COVID or something behind there. Like I got the vial hidden behind there, and only
How
people
dare
that
you
pay
keep it from the
$5
people?
that get it. It's wrestling news, y'all. It's all right, but I appreciate you all so much. Let's go ahead and get into these super chats. JM says the endless cycle of IWC rants is at it again. They feel sorry for Bray being fired, dunking on his work. Then they felt sorry again. Sheesh. I mean, I don't like his creative. I don't like the creative at all. But I loved him come. I'm glad he's there. I think WWE is the best fit for him. But yeah,
I don't think people know how to decipher the difference between not liking creative and also not wanting someone to lose their job. Just because I'm
yes.
like not a fan of someone, or you're not a fan of someone, doesn't mean, or a fan of what they're doing rather on the show, does not mean that you don't want for them to either stick around or, go and do something. I think people need to differentiate both of those things, because it's just hard, right? It's interesting to me, and this goes with everything, but that's one of the main things that I've been seeing on social media across the board in any type of subject is people not different, like people not really deciphering what they're reading. Like it's crazy, honestly. It's crazy.
Wyatt says, after seeing Bobby's tweet, if Bray can't go, who replaces him? I hope Triple H is thinking of Solo or Reed. You could even get your LA Knight match there. Well, to me, I don't think either one of those guys should lose to Bobby Lashley. All due respect to Bobby Lashley, I think he's great, but I see Bronson Reed as a guy who, like, this spring or summer could challenge Cody and like be a bridge gapping feud for somebody.
And they've been
Solo,
doing good with Bronson too.
yes, and we'll talk more about that later. But Solo definitely can't lose, to the point to where they're not even letting Cody pin him on live events. Denise, they're doing DQ finishes at MSG for Solo Sikoa. I mean, I know a lot of people won't like this, but I kind of would like to see Lashley in the Battle Royal and him eliminate literally everybody. I think that would be kind of cool. Like, he throws every son of a bitch out, every single one of them. Because I don't know if we've ever seen that. I think that would be very, very cool.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind that. I mean, who knows what the hell is going to happen with his match at WrestleMania? And I feel like at this point, like Bobby Lashley has been such a good sport with doing whatever he's told he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well give him a reward or something.
Chaos says, if Jay White comes to WWE, would he have to get a new finisher? And if so, do you have any idea what it would be? He probably would, but he's got sharp sensations too, which is those Gary Goodridge elbows that he does. It's hard to believe he'd be able to do the Blade Runner, but I mean, he's got other stuff that he does for sure. We've got a super chat saying 14 years since Test's passing. What are your guys' personal thoughts on him as a talent at the time? RIP big man. I thought that Test had like all the physical intangibles, especially his first run. His first run, he was big. He was more athletic than so many more people. He could do things that people his size couldn't do. I thought his theme song was an absolute banger.
Test.
Yes. I thought he had physical charisma that a lot of other people didn't have. I hated when like he came back and he was like so big that he couldn't do a lot of his other stuff and he was still so young. But unfortunately, that's the way that WWE at that time especially had pressured talent to be, or these oversized dudes. And I thought that, like, if you plopped Test 1999, 2000 Test down today, oh my God, every company would be aching to get a hold of him. He was so good. Now there were some psychology things that I think that there was plenty of work to be done in the ring, but I mean, he just got better and better. I Test and Albert, that's a team I took for granted in the early 2000s. There was a team like that today, I would love him a lot too. Man, Test had a great big boot. What were your thoughts on him?
So I remember, when I first started watching wrestling, obviously I caught like the latter portion of his time in WWE and all of that. And I remember always just kind of thinking that it was weird because I always felt like there was always something more. Like like we never got to really scratch the surface on Tess. Like there was always there could be something more. And so that's, kind of unfortunate when you think about it like that. But I mean, I remember, obviously the whole thing with Stephanie and the wedding and everything, all of that was always something that stood out to me. And when she's crying and telling him, it's whatever, he's like, how could you do this? Whatever he was saying. It's one of my favorite memories, when I go back and think about like funny moments and whatnot. And even then, like I was rewatching all of the WrestleMania, so I was rewatching some of his stuff, and so he's kind of like recent in my mind lately.
Jane Beard says, if Bobby has no one to face, throw him in the Brock Omos match and make it a triple threat. I wish. I think that would be a lot better, honestly. Just have them do like an all-out war for like 8 minutes of breaking shit. I think
would
that
like it if they just did like something, and I will talk about this more later because I feel like we'll definitely have a theory on this. But speaking of theory, I would kind of like it if they did just like a fatal 4-way to determine who's going to face the next, U.S. champion or something.
Sure.
And they just did it on WrestleMania just to give a couple of guys a match on there, including Bobby Lashley.
We're talking about watching pay-per-views. If you want to watch pay-per-views at a much greater reduced rate, nordvpn.com/Fightful. Man, probably my favorite sponsor, probably my most used sponsor is nordvpn.com/Fightful. I get UFC pay-per-views at a fraction of the price by subscribing to overseas services. It's the same service that you hear about in Wired, HuffPost, BuzzFeed, Forbes, TEDx, all kinds of great publications. But you can get a subscription, download the NordVPN app, connect to a VPN server with the fastest VPN in the world. You can shield your data from snoops and criminals, listen to your favorite shows abroad, protect yourself on public Wi-Fi and networks, and you can secure every device you own, whether it's a phone, laptop, desktop, PC, doesn't matter. They got the NordPass password manager, the NordLocker file encryption tool. That way you can make sure that people don't get access to your files. They got 24/7 support. It's safe from disruptions with their kill switch feature. Also, it's got a global server network with 5,500 ultra-fast servers in over 60 countries. So when you change that virtual location to a different country, you get access to a whole lot more content that you otherwise wouldn't have. And right now, you get a great deal and a 30-day money-back guarantee. And if you buy pay-per-views the way that so many wrestling and combat sports fans do, this is going to pay for itself almost immediately. It did the first pay-per-view that I bought, UFC. Those things are up to $80 here in the States now. And it paid for itself the first time there. And if you don't like it, 30-day money-back guarantee. There you go. Matt Scales says, hey, Sean and Denise, just wanted to thank you both for the content and entertainment. Been going through a tough time lately, and it really helps. Love from Australia. Well, I hate to hear that you're going through a tough time, but I do love hearing that we help you out. I mean, we're talking about wrestling with you guys, and it's a blast. I think I can speak for Denise in saying that it's a pretty fun job to be able to talk about wrestling with you guys.
You can't speak for me, but then you said something nice. I was like, damn.
I guess you can say that I spoke now, Denise. How about that one?
That wasn't that funny.
It was great.
Was I supposed to laugh?
No, absolutely not. You don't get to laugh. You did. Why'd you just laugh? Jonathan Corona kicks us off with the Edge promo. This was short and to the point. Edge was like, you made me say I quit. We're going to face each other in Hell in a Cell. Finn Balor teased the demon. This was supposed to happen at the Royal Rumble originally. Dating back to the fall, they had planned the demon Finn Balor against Edge at the Royal Rumble Hell in a Cell. Edge was filming a show. Didn't end up happening. There were some people that I spoke to within WWE, Denise, that were like, well, I don't know how the demon that we know would fit here because one, primarily a babyface, and this isn't a babyface. And this Finn Balor is much more lighthearted than the Finn Balors that we saw working as the demon in the past. Where do you stand on that? Do you want to see the demon do this and maybe like a different approach, like a heelish approach to the demon?
I definitely want to see this because when the last time we saw the Demon, that's when they did the whole hokey finish with Roman Reigns, right?
Oh boy. Yeah, like
That's what I'm saying. So I feel like we need to bring the Demon back so that I can have a new memory of the Demon instead of the last thing we saw with the whole hokey Roman Reigns finish that was god awful. I don't even want to talk about it, but I need something to remake me like the Demon again.
I like both these guys. I don't want to see some 30-minute match here.
I was going to say that too, and I didn't want to be a jerk, and I just knew that it was going to be like a 30, 40-minute match.
It's like a friggin' year, Denise. Now, I get it. Edge hasn't been around the whole time. And again, I love both of these performers, but like I'm watching like this feud, and I bet they've had like 1 or 2 matches. It feels like they've had 8. It feels like they've had 8. I don't think so.
I don't think have we sat here talking about a one-on-one before?
Maybe they haven't even had a one-on-one.
I think they've just been like in tag team matches. I don't think they've had a one-on-one, have they?
Denise, I feel like they've had 8 of them. I really do, because
I don't remember
so long.
Okay, but here's my thing.
They had the I Quit match at Extreme Rules, which they referenced. There you go.
Oh yeah, damn. Whoops.
Come on, Denise. But
damn, you didn't back me up. You didn't correct me right away.
Here's the whole feud.
You didn't know either.
Here's the feud. You had Judgment Day. Okay. Yeah, you had Judgment Day.
Anything from Extreme Rules.
I'm telling you. They had Hell in a Cell last year, the mixed tag, which was when Edge was still with Judgment Day, against Finn Balor. Then he faced Damian Priest at Raw. Then they did Edge and Rey against Judgment Day at Clash at the Castle. Then they had Edge and Dominic on Raw. They had Edge and Balor at Extreme Rules. They had the Royal Rumble spot in that match. Then they had Beth and Edge against Judgment Day at Elimination Chamber. So in all, they had the Royal Rumble match, which is an interaction more than anything. They've had like 3 tag matches and 1 singles match against each other. So I'm not that wrong. This is going to be like 5, but it's not one-on-one.
So just the one-on-one was the Extreme Rules match, right?
Yes.
Why can't I remember that? What happened in that match? I can't remember anything from it.
When Beth was there, and guess how long that match was? It was 30 minutes long.
30 minutes, and I can't remember anything from that match. That should pretty much tell you everything you need to know. But there is one thing that I want to say, unless you want to speak first.
Mike White is on the Dolphins now. Denise is just crumbling.
I'm not going to be a fan of. I don't freaking like jump teams. Like whatever team I say I'm going to be a fan of, that's the team I'm going to be a fan of. Okay. Oh, shut up, you. You're a freaking Bengals fan. Like, calm the F down.
I know.
You're making it seem like you're some fucking like. Well, okay, sorry.
Oh, you mean the team that went to the Super Bowl last year and went to the conference?
Thank God you didn't spend the money to come to LA for the Super Bowl. That would have been sad. You would have just came to watch them lose.
You don't have the option of spending the money to go watch the Jets play in the playoffs.
I might soon. Okay, but anyways, can I just say something positive about the Edge Finn Balor thing? Because I actually have something positive to say here. And so we've been kind of talking about the Edge promos that sometimes they're either a little boring, sometimes they're outdated. I have a feeling that sometimes I feel that we get shades of good stuff with the Edge promos, okay? And today, there was a lot that I liked from Edge's promo where he's making fun of Finn Balor for being a hipster. He's calling Rhea and Dom Wednesday and Pugsley, and he made some other reference, and I forget what it was. But I kind of feel like Edge, because, he's a dad now. He's a cool guy, but he's also a dad. I almost feel like there's some hesitation in like what his presentation is going to be and what his jokes are going to be. I feel like if he's just a little bit more of what I don't know. Like, I feel like sometimes when he tries too hard, it doesn't work. But when he doesn't try that hard, it kind of works. Do you see what I'm saying here? Like, he needs to go with his gut here. And some of the funny things that he does, there was some funny stuff in here. And so I kind of liked this. And I like that it was straightforward to the Hell in a Cell. But I agree with you. I don't want to see no 40-minute match.
Pavement Cut Your Hair says, which of you has the cuter accent? Probably me. Jonathan Corona says, Edge versus Demon Finn, Hell in a Cell. Ooh, that's going to hump. But let's say Edge wins.
My accent.
Denise, I've moved on and I'm reading a person's paid super chat now.
I just wanted to hear you do it because it's funny.
What, me to do your accent?
Yeah.
No, you don't, Lenny.
Go for it.
No, don't worry. People will hear it soon enough. Let's say
Okay.
Edge wins. Do you guys want to see Edge versus Cody? That's also going to hump too. I would love to see Edge versus Cody. Like if Edge wins, Cody should challenge him, and that could be a big post
Program.
WrestleMania
Yeah.
match. Yeah.
I agree. I would like to see that too.
Cam says, just got back into wrestling when the Demon came back for Extreme Rules versus Roman and immediately got back when it was never explained why the ropes broke. Please give him redemption.
Wasn't it Paul Heyman? Didn't he like cut the ropes or something?
I don't know, but it was stupid.
But they did the music thing where he was like glitching or something. I don't remember. Stupid. He was doing, I don't know what, some boogeyman
I'm
stuff.
completely with Cam here. Like I could see why somebody would get into wrestling because of Demon and then be like, this sucks afterwards. But I remember all the memes afterwards, like where people were making fun of Finn, like shaking, and they're like, he must have got the vaccine, stuff like that. It was great.
Are they still doing those videos where people go online and they're like, oh, I'm shaking?
Yeah.
Are those done or are they still doing them? They were doing them like a couple months ago.
Every so often. Brandon Charles Powell says, wait, so we aren't getting Edge versus Finn 60-minute Iron Man match? Okay, that's good to hear. Oh, they will if they can, buddy.
What if, no, not for Mania, but what if they do another one and they do a 60-minute Iron Man match?
Oh, no, I don't want to see that. But I do want to say, because Cam sent a very generous super chat, like that's got to be disheartening for somebody to be like, this is cool as hell. Let me watch this. And then they watch it and they're like, what the hell is this? That's such a bummer.
I've said this story before. My husband's nephew was a big Finn Balor fan. He barely watches wrestling anymore. That was like he would have him as his wallpaper. He had the t-shirt. Yeah. He was like a full-on fan, and now he doesn't even watch.
We got Jambeard saying Rodgers is almost in the Jets now. Both teams waiting on to see if he retires or not. Listen, he can chill in his little dark room all he wants. I don't care. I'm not concerned about a 43, 49, 52-year-old Aaron Rodgers.
Do you think it's going to happen, Sean?
I think it's possible, yeah. And then next year he'll do the same shit over and over again. So we end up getting Damian Priest and Dominic defeating Johnny Gargano and Dexter Lumis. I do like that Gargano and Lumis are teaming like as a regular unit, but they ended up helping out Edge here because they had the match scheduled. Dominic is, you can say what you want, but he's working as a character right now. Like the audience is reacting the way that they should be reacting to Dominic at the exact time that they need to be reacting to Dominic. Like that's just what's happening. I don't like his wrestling work. Don't necessarily think much of his. I think his promos are getting better, but.
So, I mean, I'm still in disagreement with the Johnny Gargano, Dexter Lumis situation. I still think that they should separate them. I said this on the last show, I think. I do think that Dexter Lumis is kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of holding back Johnny Gargano a little bit. But I can't really blame him. I can't really blame him entirely, though. But it's part of it. I would rather see Johnny Gargano go out and spread his wings and do his own thing.
Guys, please leave a thumbs up on this video. It helps the audience find us a lot easier. I mean, I think the right decision here is Priest and Dominic winning. I think that right now that they got more steam behind them.
Of course.
Dexter's hasn't really done much for me since coming back. Right now, he is very much like a side character to Gargano. I like that Candice was out there with them, though. I like that. And you set up a match probably next week between Rhea and Candice because they had their interaction, which I liked. I liked that Candice got one up on Rhea briefly, but then Rhea's like, no, I'm the main event of WrestleMania, and I'm going to mess you up right now. So I thought that all worked out pretty well there. It was a harmless match. The right team won, I thought. It was fine in the ring, but I mean, it was very clear in this match who the two big workers were, and that was Damian Priest and Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, for sure. My favorite part of this match was when commentary said that they're going to do a Netflix documentary on Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That was my favorite part of the whole thing.
Backstage, we see the Damage Control had attacked Trish, and then we saw an interview with Trish, Becky, and Lita. Trish was pissed.
She was
And
feisty.
K775 says, did they start planting the seeds of a Trish heel turn tonight? I don't know about that, but I mean, I think it's going to happen. I definitely think it's going to happen. That's what I was hinting at sort of weeks ago. I mean, I think that is also a great summer feud for Becky Lynch if that happens. But this was a natural progression of this story without getting them out in front of the crowd. If I got flown in to do this, I would be pretty pissed. I'd be like, we couldn't have filmed this last week.
That's true.
Backstage. I'd be annoyed if that were the case.
I didn't even think about that.
And they all looked annoyed. I don't know if it was at that, but I'd be like, that's what AEW does a lot. Like if you see some of those backstage segments and you don't see somebody in front of the crowd, there's a very, very good chance that they filmed that the week before and they just didn't waste the money flying those people in and gave them the week off. And they're probably pretty happy about it. But RS says Trish is such a better worker than Lita. There has to be a strategy behind choosing her to win the tag titles with Bex. Do you think there's a long-term plan with Trish and Bex? Yes, I do believe there's a long-term plan there. I think that this is strategic. And I mean, sometimes it's better to have maybe the less strong worker have somebody like Becky Lynch working with them. You see that in tag teams all the time. I mean, AJ and Omos. AJ was the worker there. Lita has not worked regularly in 16, 17 years. What did you think of what we saw tonight out of these 6, Denise?
I think that, it's been, I'm a big fan of Becky and Lita teaming together, and I've been a big fan of it mainly because I just like both women. But I do recognize that, unfortunately, Lita's performance hasn't been, super crisp or anything like that. But I feel like, I feel like for Lita, come on, like she was not wrestling for such a long time. And so I don't want to I don't really want to like blast her like that, because I just feel like, she's went back and she's doing this and she's going out there, she's going for it. And I applaud that. And I really, really like Lita. And I love this pairing. And I feel like they can do so much, like in terms of like the character dynamic. I think they can have a lot of fun with this. And we can see even a new layer of Becky Lynch out of this, because we've seen a lot of, what Becky Lynch is on her own. We really haven't seen all that much of who Becky Lynch is when she's tied in with somebody else or with a group. And so for me, I feel like this is kind of an opportunity to get to see that. And then with Trish Stratus, she kind of, it's been such a long time since we've seen her really. So for her, for today, when she was, she came in with a lot of attitude. Like I said, she was very feisty. And I kind of like that. It kind of was the thing where I was watching, and Trish and the way that she acted was like the thing that kind of like woke me up in terms of, oh my God, I'm gonna pay attention more because of the way that Trish is acting. So I really liked that. But look, again, I do think that there's a good, I really do hope that they do a program with Trish Stratus and either Becky Lynch or whoever else. Hell, maybe even throw Bianca Belair in there because she's doing so great. And I would want to kind of see her mixed in with some of, these legends. But again, I feel like for me, the nostalgia is really kind of the reason why I'm interested more so than anything else.
We also saw a movie trailer that featured Rhea Ripley and John Cena, the voice of John Cena, which was great because there were some.
It took me like 10 seconds
references
to realize I was listening to John Cena. I was like, that guy sounds like John Cena. Oh shit, it's John Cena. I wasn't expecting John Cena's voice.
How did you not know, Denise?
I just wasn't expecting it. It was like a second where I was just like watching and then it hit me just a little slowly. I'm sorry.
Well,
what?
Rhea Ripley was in the trailer, and we got, who was it that, where is their super chat at right here, where they mentioned that it was listed as the main event for WrestleMania. Did you put anything into that, or do you think that was just them being like, oh, main event, like they used to do, which they have leaned out of, if you've noticed?
They did do that.
Since CM Punk has done did the interview where he said not every match is the main event of WrestleMania. They haven't leaned into saying like, oh, we got 5 main events at WrestleMania.
Didn't
Usually
you
it
have
is
Cody do that recently for something?
Well, I don't know, but he's like, there's 2 nights now. So I don't know. I feel like Bianca and Rhea would have been like slam dunk. Yeah, hell yeah, main event. I think there's a lot of indifference over the Charlotte thing because they just brought her back and she won the title immediately. And it's like, oh, all right. And Rhea will get cheered over Charlotte. That's gonna happen. Like by far.
I am totally okay with having Rhea Ripley and Charlotte as the main event, by the way. I have no issue with that.
Tamel
Unless
says,
something like bigger and hotter happens or they book something that I consider bigger or hotter, that we consider bigger and hotter, then okay, then yeah, sure. But right now, based on what we know is happening, I'm completely okay with this being main event of night 1.
Tamel says the demon Finn is the beginning of Roman's God mode. He defeated the demon. That is also true. That is a very, very good point. That is a bit of a full circle thing. And I'm sure that Finn Balor could bring up something that could give a reason as to why that changed the demon. I'm sure he could do good. Andrew says, are you tired of scouring the internet for juicy wrestling news? Look no further. Join FightfulSelect.com for just $5 and get access to exclusive insider info. Plus, you'll finally have a reason to use that old gift card your grandma gave you. And I think he's implying that came from Chat GPT, which is like an automated gimmick. I don't think you can use gift cards. I wish you could. Every month I send a list of pitches to Patreon, and I keep saying, let people gift subscriptions, let them package them, let us do free trials, and not yet. Jambeard says the 2 opening spots are almost as big, so who should open both nights?
So I have an answer for this. I have 2 answers actually. One is Gunther and whoever he ends up facing, if they do the triple threat or the singles, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I would say that would be a great opener. And the other one is Seth Rollins and Logan Paul. Because of their fast-paced style, I feel that they would be a phenomenal opener to WrestleMania.
And if you just to offer something alternate, I think Bianca, Belair, and Asuka, unless they happen to main event or something, because I think that one has a lot of intrigue. I think that could be very, very good as well.
That one could main event?
I think Bianca's last 2.
The feud's hot enough though, but the feud's not hot enough.
Oh, absolutely not hot enough. But I think that Bianca's WrestleMania performances alone can justify something like that.
True.
Pavement Cut Your Hair says, what did you think of WWE Backstage? I miss it. I don't think that I watched it.
I watched a couple of, I watched, I don't want to say episodes, I watched segments rather on the YouTube channel.
There you go. Brock Lesnar and Omos get face-to-face. And Omos intimidates Brock and kind of flubs, throwing him over the top rope. This is not a good build. Maybe the match will be good. You're getting some guns there, Denise. Look at you.
You don't get the joke that I was doing?
No.
And I've not been working out. Now you're just calling my arms huge. So now I feel self-conscious. Thanks, Sean. No.
Oh, brother.
Because Omos did his fist thing again and I was trying to this was Omos and my face was Brock. I was recreating the image.
Well, this build sucks. I'm sure the match will be a good 5-minute car crash of 2 big men just throwing each other into shit. But that does not mean I got to like the idea of the match. It doesn't mean I got to like the build of the match. Doesn't mean that I got to like the theory of the match or anything like that. It ain't interesting to me. Oh no, Brock faces big man. Guess what? I saw that in 2002 against a guy named The Big Show. I've seen that before. I've seen Brock Lesnar, a smaller, leaner Brock Lesnar, F5, The Big Show.
And like I said, we already saw Bobby Lashley, Omos. But anyways, with that being said, though.
God, every time I read a super chat.
Well, because you don't let me actually talk about the segment. I haven't said anything about it. I'm trying to. Okay, so with Brock and Omos, For me, look, I went into this with 0% interest. If I could say negative 100, I'd give it negative 100% interest, okay?
Yeah.
But the crowd going out there and chanting, holy shit, in an ironic way. presume it was ironic. I think the chant was supposed to be ironic. I don't really think they really meant the holy shit unless I read that chant
I
wrong.
don't care what they meant. I disagree with it regardless.
Well, whatever. The point is that I'm at least 0.1% interested now.
If Brock does a shooting star press and lands it, I'll be interested. We have a super chat that says, petition to name Omos fans Homo sapiens from here on out. They do call themselves that. DDM says, please abandon ship on Brock and Omos. He couldn't even clear Brock over the ropes clean. I love Bianca and Asuka, but this build is losing me. Yeah, we'll talk more about that one, but I'm with you on Brock and Omos. Super chat that says, Pitbull should definitely open night 2. Let's give people the green light once more. They love Flo Rida. WWE loves
Wait, were we talking about artists opening the show?
No.
Because I was talking about opening matches.
That's what we were talking about. This person was just joking.
Oh, okay.
Cody Rhodes defeated LA Knight. This is until the finish, like that big Cody cutter. This felt like a very like NWA 1980s, like WCW Saturday Night type of match, and I'm there for that. I like that. Cody is getting some elevation on these Cody cutters. Like he's just defying gravity. He just decided to run up the turnbuckles and hit these damn things. I thought the match was pretty solid. Cody beating LA Knight, like, sure, why not? You're getting Cody wins on TV. Also, you do want him to be in the ring somewhat regularly before WrestleMania because you don't want him to go in the ring. And unfortunately, the same thing happened where he gets injured, which doesn't seem to happen to him a lot in the ring. But also, you want him to get the reps in because he didn't get to wrestle for a while. What did you think of the match? And I assume you're happy with Cody winning this one.
I'm very happy with Cody winning this one, but this is not my kind of match. This is not the kind of matches that I gravitate towards. I found this to be a very, very generic match.
White people, right? Is that it?
What are you trying to start, Sean? That was like the furthest thing from my mind. Look, this is just not the type of wrestling. This match was not the type of match that I find myself going, oh, that was good.
Wonder why that is.
What? I'm sorry. I just thought it was like the ultimate mid-match ever. Not bad, not great, nothing to talk about.
Just lather it up in mayo, huh?
Why are you trying to make me seem like I'm some sort of like, I don't know what you're trying to make me seem to
make you seem like, or just highlighting
what
you're saying?
Because I didn't like Cody Rhodes versus LA Knight. I'm not going to pretend to like something.
Oh, I know. And I truly believe that you really disliked this, Denise.
No, I didn't dislike it. You're making it seem like I thought it was horrendous.
Well, don't change your mind now, Denise. You want to hear my Denise voice. Don't change your mind now, Denise.
It sounds exactly like your voice. You didn't make any difference.
Don't change your mind now, Denise.
No, that's me making your voice now. You can't do my voice.
Oh, I can do your voice. Trust me.
Okay, do it.
Soon it'll happen. When you least suspect it.
Okay.
When you least suspect it. Board Dude says nighttime is the right time. The man has all the Kavorka? Yeah. I don't know what that means at all. I
can't see.
I'm glad that you like LA Knight. I enjoy it too. Anir says, hope you're well, guys. What are your thoughts on all these reports suggesting that Reigns is retaining at Mania? The odds have also shifted. Can you corroborate them? Very disappointing outcome. That's the one hampering my interest in the show. If you want me to say, like, if you want to hear me out for one thing, don't pay attention to the betting odds. Those are for entertainment purposes only. You can't even get real action on those. And in fact, I have had to email these odds makers in the past to say, hey, this match was literally taped 2 days ago and you have the wrong winner listed. Yes, this has happened twice, where they sent me tribute to the troops result or betting odds and the wrong person was favored. And I'm thinking, Well, it's a good thing y'all can't take action on it because, one, I wouldn't say shit to them. I'd let people make their money. But
Wait, do they do betting odds for all the shows? I thought it was just for the pay-per-views.
a lot, sometimes they'll do it for like big Raw matches or something like that. But like special events, yeah, like they'll do that sometimes.
Oh,
But they want us to run them because, they want our link on their website and all that stuff. Kim Gray says, Cody had me ready to run through a brick wall for him tonight. Just point me where to go. Cut a great promo. Such a badass babyface promo. There were people that honestly doubted if Cody would work as a babyface in WWE because of what we saw in AEW. He has worked just seamlessly. And now he's working in cohesion with the guy that a lot of people were like, this person should replace him in the main event of Mania. Cody has worked it very, very well and not let it at least outwardly get to him. And I think he's persevered incredibly well and is building to this incredibly well. He's talking about it's not personal. He's like, yeah, you made it personal. And that's what I think this feud needed. It needed to be personal because we've already got, Asuka and Bianca smiling at each other. We got Rhea and Charlotte doing the face-off. I'll beat you. No, I'll beat you. We needed something that was personal, and this one is personal, Denise.
This Cody Rhodes promo was great. You see, I'm not a hater. No, this was honestly really good. I thought that. I'm sorry, I just didn't like the match.
Cody's not completely white. I'll just say that.
Anyways, so Cody basically going out there, and when he said that, he hasn't held, he was, he wasn't the prince of the industry. He has no crown. He has no this, no that, and all of everything that he was saying, that was really good. I thought him just basically being so passionate about how he's waited his whole life and, he doesn't want to wait anymore. It's just very easy to be like, it's very easy to get excited for the match when Cody basically gets like riled up about it and passionate about it. It's a really great way to promote the matchup.
Yeah, I thought that they did incredibly well. Cody especially just did unbelievably well tonight. SAS says, with Roman's 2-year reign and the possible deunification of the titles, do you think one of the world titles will change hands frequently to make up for lack of new champions? Well, I hope they do deunify them at some point. Now that we're here, I'm kind of glad things are going the way that they are. But what I don't want to see is what we've seen so many times where one person wins 2 belts, Denise. And that is one gets vacated immediately, or 2, the person loses the other one really quickly. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, same.
Also, Roman's like at 2.5 years now. Anir says, hope you're well, guys. What are your thoughts? Oh, well, we already read that one. I think Cody's winning. Jambeard says, feels like Denise is calling the ranch dressing of a match plain and white.
No, this match was the way that Shawn eats his salad. No sauce, nothing. You just freaking eat the lettuce.
No, most places don't have like sweet onion sauce or anything like that. I like
Bro,
sweet onion.
Saw you eat your salad with nothing on it. I wanted to cry when I saw that.
Yeah. So
that's when I realized, I was like, me and Shawn, we ain't the same. I was low-key judging you inside my head.
I discovered a taste for that, like when I cut weight for wrestling or MMA, because you can't have like anything. And I kind of liked it.
The lettuce, though.
I kind of like it. Wasn't just lettuce,
bro. It might as well be.
There was like egg and bacon. Just go
outside
and
start munching on the grass. You were eating someone's garden.
There was stuff in there. There were tomatoes in there. There were cucumbers in there.
Cucumbers. Wow. Cucumbers. You go, Shawn.
There were things in there. Odds aside, are you hearing one way or another on reports of claims that Reigns is winning? No, absolutely not. I have not heard that at all. I've heard people discussing it, but I haven't heard anybody in the company being like, yeah, that's happening. People assume Cody's winning, but
I would be kind of pissed if he did it. Not because I dislike Roman or anything like that, but because it's time. And if they don't do it right now, I'll be like, damn, when are you going to, this was it. Don't miss the boat again. I don't want to go on another one of those miss the moment rants.
Bronson Reed crushes Elias. We have an interview with Bronson Reed up today where he talks about Canada. He talks about his badass finishing move, talked about how his time away from WWE made him want to be in WWE even more. Please check that out, youtube.com/Fightful and podcast platforms everywhere. Joel Pearl did a great job on that one. I also have an interview with Brian Williams of 2K that went up. We got just tons of stuff for you guys. Interviews nonstop. We'll have more interviews this year than we've had ever at Fightful. But Bronson crushes Elias while Rick Boogs takes notes. Rick Boogs is like, from a physical standpoint, a very funny body language performer. And I think he does that very, very well. Elias's new gimmick is that he just sucks really bad. He's not good. And Bronson's gimmick is that he's very good, in fact. So I thought that everybody kind of played their role well here. Elias didn't need to win because that's his gimmick. Bronson did because that's his. And Boogs is out there like, do I want to be like him or what? I thought this worked out fine.
I have a hot take, an unpopular opinion. I miss Ezekiel. I was more entertained with Ezekiel. Not even gonna lie.
Hard for me to disagree with that one. You got Astros Jay saying Rhea versus Charlotte is ice cold. Sammy KO tag match is way hotter for the main event. Bianca Asuka is a hotter match. I'd say Trish Lita first Mania in years is a better option, similar to Stone Cold last year. Okay, that's different because Lita literally wrestled a couple weeks ago. Trish wrestled a few years ago. This was Stone Cold Steve Austin, the biggest star in wrestling history, coming back for his first match in 19 years, unadvertised. So I would not put that anywhere near the same level. And there's no stakes in that match either. So that doesn't help. Bianca and Asuka, I just don't think I think the match is going to be unbelievable. I think the build has been abysmal, and we'll talk about that later. Pavement Cut Your Hair says match of the night, MVP, grunt of the night. I don't know about grunt of the night, but the MVP, I would say.
The MVP of tonight?
Yeah, the MVP of tonight, I'd probably say is Cody, honestly.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody else. I mean, well, Bronson Reed did have a really nice little quick victory. Yeah. I like his elbow. I like his splash.
I think KO and Solo had the match I'll remember the most. We have the Rey Mysterio promo. Dominic comes out, tries to challenge him. Rey won't have it. We have a super chat that says Mysterio being inducted into the Hall of Fame is great and all, but the American males are so long overdue for an induction, still jamming to their theme to this day. Denise, I mean, we main evented a show with a member of the American males, Buff Bagwell, last year. Scotty Riggs follows me on Twitter. Rey still passing up the Dominic thing. I feel like instead of Rey versus Dominic, which, seems like a natural culmination, I think we might end up getting Rey and Santos against Damian and Dominic, which I think, one, will protect Dominic a little bit from his deficiencies, and two, I think it'll be a banger of a match. I think it'll be great.
So, what's funny is that was my original thought on what I thought the match was going to be, a tag team match with those parties involved. And recently I've switched over to thinking that it is just going to be the singles match between Rey and Dom. I actually kind of, I would be fine with either option, but curiosity, I'm more intrigued by what Rey Mysterio versus Dominic would actually look like. And I think that's why I kind of prefer that particular matchup, just because I'm curious to see what it would look like.
And that brings RS to saying thoughts on Keebler in the Hall of Fame. And also, who is Flair announcing on Wednesday? Is it the Great Muta? FightfulSelect.com reported last week in our little Select Portions update that the Great Muta had been pitched backstage as a Hall of Fame inductee. I hope that's who it is. That would make an awful lot of sense. Fun fact, the first three people I ever saw in a wrestling ring were Great Muta, Ric Flair, and Sting. Ric Flair had his last match last year. You had the Great Muta finishing up his career just weeks ago, and Sting was a part of that. I think that would be good. I think Stacy Keebler absolutely belongs in the Hall of Fame because completely separate of like in-ring or longevity or anything like that. she was able to transcend wrestling a little bit, like not to the level at which some people did, but I mean, still, she did very, very well at transcending wrestling, I thought.
So, how many have they ever done any of the announcements for the Hall of Fame inductees on the bump? I don't remember. It's always been on the
I
main
don't
show,
think
hasn't it?
so. I don't think so, but I had heard they were scaling it back a bit as
I kind of
well.
thought
But
that was a little interesting. I personally, Sean, if you were being inducted into the Hall of Fame, like, wouldn't you want it to be announced on Raw or SmackDown?
yep.
Kind of feels
Yep.
like I personally, I would want my announcement on Raw or
Yeah.
SmackDown.
Brandon Charles Powell says, will Dominic attack Conan or something at the Hall of Fame to set up a Mania match with Rey? I don't know like where Conan is physically. I have no idea. But I mean, I think that would be a great way to set up the match with Rey. Like that could be like the thing that got him to do it.
Like, I feel like they're gonna do it. Like, they're gonna run an angle. I wish they didn't, but I know they're gonna.
Yeah. Got the Austin Theory, John Cena video. RS says, does Theory pull the Nikki Bella card in this feud? They always tend to do it with Cena. I mean, didn't Cena just get married? Like,
He got married a while back. He actually got married before Nikki Bella.
Yeah. So to me, it's like I don't know if LOL you and your ex had an amicable split and are both very happy now. I don't know how that like it might get some ohs from the crowd, but I'm just like,
given that, look,
hey,
he has
move
to
on.
burn. If he's gonna try to get John Cena back, I feel like you got to go with the lowest hanging fruit. And what is it? What is it? It would probably be that.
Really?
I think so. I
guess.
don't know.
It does seem like something Austin Theory's character would do.
Right. I mean, I don't think it makes sense right now because they've both moved on and they're so happy. And it would kind of be a little bit messed up for Nikki too, because
Yeah.
and for John Cena's new wife, it would be a little
If
messed
I
up.
were, yeah, I would want all parties to agree that it was okay. I mean, WWE still does business with Nikki Bella. So Antoine says, what about sending Dom to NXT for Mello, who is ready? Well, I'm ready to see what happens at Stand and Deliver first, because who knows? We could get the start of like a pretty good feud here out of Braun Breaker and Mello. I think right now what Dom's doing is working on the main roster. I think that right now you gotta rock with it. I think worst case scenario right now, you have Dom do exactly what he's doing, which is barely wrestling in these tag matches, getting the heat and the pin and helping. I mean, right now, Dom is objectively helping 3 really good performers get more heat. So I'm okay with that in the future. But right now, I'd want Dominic to stay. Theory and the Prophets argue backstage because the Prophets are making fun of Theory, calling him like baby Cena, stuff like that. So Montez kind of makes the challenge, but it ends up being Angelo after Austin Theory disrespects him that gets the match. Theory wins, but we got Montez next week. This makes a little bit of sense. Like you're setting up a few because John Cena ain't gonna be there. Like could have filmed something backstage, maybe. That I don't know why they don't ever do that. Like, hey, Cena, you're here. Do you want to film something that will maybe run next week on the show or something? Like, why not? But what'd you think of the Theory Profits thing and the match?
So they announced the match already for next week, right? Montez and Theory. Is it for the
did.
title?
I don't think so.
Okay, because my whole thing that I would like to see is after we get Theory and Cena, because I'm assuming Theory is going to retain. I would like for Montez Ford to be like his first challenger and then have a program. I would like to see Montez Ford become US champion, but ideally I would like it to be that to be his first challenger coming off of that Cena victory.
I would love that too. I thought the match was good. Angelo Dawkins is so good. Austin Theory gets better every single week. He's coming into his own even more. I'll say this every week. I want the Street Profits to do more singles stuff. I don't want them to split. I think they are great for each other. I think one being each other's like biggest cheerleader, hype man, friend, like supporter helps a lot. I think that would be really, really great. Pavement Cut Your Hair says Brock versus Montez Ford instead, please. God, I would love that match. I would love that match. Gable's backstage looking for Otis. I loved all of this, Denise. Gable is backstage looking for Otis everywhere. And he's like, Miz, have you seen Otis? And Miz is like, I just got here and I don't travel with him. No, go make a flyer. And Gable's like, all right. Well, FightfulSelect.com, the best $5 in the business, reported that they were actually preparing flyers for tonight's show. And Gable was looking for Otis. And then he finds him doing a photo shoot with Maximum Male Models. And he's really into it. And he's like, weren't you all supposed to have a match? Which was supposed to be against the OC. FightfulSelect.com, best $5 in the business, had reported, I think last night, that those plans were already nixed by this weekend. And Maximum Male Models were like, I think they said they weren't like facially cleared to wrestle tonight or something.
They weren't cosmetically cleared.
Cosmetically
It was a really good line. I
love
want to
it.
steal that. I'm not cosmetically cleared.
Man,
I'm so gonna steal that. That was a really good. Whoever came up with that deserves a pat on the back.
I love this bullshit so much. I don't care how dumb it is, Denise. I love it.
And for me, it depends. Like now that they're mixing in Otis, it's okay because Otis is just so naturally funny, and the way that he was all like oiled up and stuff. And then what's Chad Gable broke? God, what do they call it? Monsoir's camera. That was pretty funny.
I loved it. God damn, I loved it so much.
I didn't love it
Jonathan
that
Corona
much, Sean.
said, nice seeing Chad wearing the American Alpha jacket. Oh, man. Yeah, it is. I had an interview with Chad Gable that went up recently where he talked about Jason Jordan producing his matches as well. It was a good time. RS says, Vince interferes in Cena theory. That sounds terrible. That sounds horrible. I don't want that at all.
After last year's WrestleMania stunner, I don't know.
Jambeard says, I'd have Cena beat Theory. Then on the Raw after Mania, a returning Cardona beats Cena, then starts a feud with Theory over the U.S. title. I would love to see Matt Cardona back in WWE. I want to see him be more of what we've seen outside of WWE, though, because they dropped the ball with him so many times that it was
he
just
found what worked for him.
Ridiculous. That it was just, ridiculous. Guys, leave us a thumbs up. Get your super chats and humper chats in. Got a longer show than usual tonight. I know Denise is happy about that, but you know what? Sometimes, Denise, I caught you almost yawning a couple times. Sometimes you need that energy. And athleticgreens.com/fightful is helping you get that energy. It's a drinkable multivitamin, and you want a drinkable multivitamin. Just put it in 8 ounces of water, whether it's one of the great travel packs they have or a scoop from their pouch, and you get comprehensive nutrition in one simple scoop. 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced ingredients that build a healthy daily habit in 1 minute per day. It helps promote gut health, supports immunity, boosts energy, and more. It's backed by their scientific advisory board. Like I said, it's got those pre and probiotics to support that gut health, enhance nutrient absorption, and effectively support your immune system. They have that phytonutrient blend from nutrient-dense superfoods that build the foundation of whole body health beyond basic nutrition by supporting the microbiome and key bodily systems. athleticgreens.com/fightful. You're going to get a great deal. You're going to get, not only that, you're going to get their 5 free travel packs plus vitamin D as well. AG1 is so much more than just greens. It's got that immunity support as well with vitamins and minerals that are the key to a well-functioning nervous system and building immunity. Their formula also contains immune-supporting mushrooms. And again, that digestive support as well. You want to drink your multivitamin as opposed to eating a tablet. It absorbs much better. Drink it first thing in the morning and you're good to go. All those gaps in your diet that you're looking to fill sometimes, don't have to worry about it anymore. athleticgreens.com/fightful. AG1. Our friend Rob Wilkins says, listen to the select Q&A in the middle of Minneapolis traffic today. Did I pop at Sean selling a Time Life Absolute Country CD? Yes. Coexisting.
You're selling country music?
There was a person who sent in a question and their name was Absolute County. And I thought it said Absolute Country. And it sounded like one of those albums that you would see infomercials on. where it's like, check out
I know what it is.
Absolute Country. Hear from Randy Travis. I'm gonna love you forever. That bullshit. Hear from Garth Brooks. Hear from Alan Jackson. Absolute Country at like 3 in the morning when you can't sleep. Oh, but you can sleep after that shit for sure. Joseph McLean says if WWE has Jay White, how long do they realistically hold him off? Mania weekend at the latest, Raw or SmackDown after Mania, Denise.
Hopefully Raw, because I'm gonna be there.
So
selfishly.
We see Seth freaking Rollins backstage being interviewed, and he's got the Miz with him. But they are approached by Baron not freaking Corbin, and he says, you know what? I can help you train. I was a Golden Gloves boxer, which is a great approach. I love that. And Seth's like, no, absolutely not. And then Corbin says, well, I'd probably knock you out anyway. I thought this was a common sense setup for a match. Like, bum-ass Corbin is looking for work. He's boxed before. That's something that we know about him. And then he takes offense to it. They have a match. I loved how they ended this segment with Rollins launching off of Miz and stomping Corbin. And boy, did he stomp Corbin. He smushed his little head into that mat so goddamn hard, Denise.
So is Miz going to have a co-host? Because I hope they bring in like a really cool celebrity. Like one that I know.
Who do you think?
I don't know. I was thinking maybe like, that's what I was asking you earlier about Pat McAfee. I feel like he would probably be good in that spot.
I do think that would be good. I think that would be really great.
Funny.
Yeah.
You want someone that's funny.
That seems like a really, really good spot.
I just hope it's not one of those celebrities that like I don't know and it's like womp womp.
Yeah. What do you think of the match?
It was fine. Everything was fine. I didn't hate any of this. I thought
yeah.
That's all I've got, honestly. I'm trying to think of something different to give to this one, but I've got nothing.
Also, I mean, Luis points this out in the chat. Snoop Dogg was on the poster.
Yeah.
For WrestleMania.
And he does do a lot of hosting. He did a lot of hosting for, what was it? No, it's not America's Got Talent. America's something with Kelly Clarkson.
Look at the super chat. This is a little too much. By the way, Jamebeard says Snoop Dogg on the poster, not him. Like, I can't even joke about this. I just feel bad. So, Sean, you support your sponsors so well. Denise doesn't. You should fine her till she supports her sponsors by caring a bit. Sean rocks, not Denise. Like, I just feel bad about that one.
Why?
Damn.
Sean, if someone pays their money to tell you how much they hate you, I don't know what to tell you. You're kind of winning, and it goes to show. It goes to show what other people are probably dealing with.
Jesus.
I don't have an issue with that, Sean.
What's the percentage? Wood says, other than Jay White, is there anybody else you realistically believe could end up in WWE in the next few months? I know the sales process might complicate things. I think the sales process complicated things. I don't think that there's going to be a heavy amount of hires right now. But Rollins and Corbin, what'd you think of that?
Didn't we just talk about it?
I just talked about it.
Didn't I just talk about it?
No.
I had nothing to add for this one, Sean. I had nothing to add for this one. Like, fast forward this one.
Pavement Cut Your Hair says, speaking of cucumbers, can you do an impression of what Undertaker's One Dead Man show and autograph signings are probably like, please? No, this is not the Tuesday show. That's where you can go on the Tuesday show and get that all the time. That's not a bit that we do here. Surely Undertaker can't hate cucumbers that much, though. RS says Vanessa Hudgens and Snoop playing with the big golden belt could be in line to be hosts, get involved with Miz and Maurice. Big fan of Vanessa. That belt that they've been like carrying around, it looks better than the regular belt. Have you seen that thing?
Which belt?
Oh,
the one that Hasbulla had?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I saw the picture of Hasbulla, but I didn't pay attention to the belt, though. Because I
like
thought it was cute because he was calling out The Rock.
Well, I mean, it's popped up. Like Snoop Dogg has had it. God, I think Pete Davidson had it. Like there were a few people that were running around with it, but it is a beautiful championship belt. I think it looks better than the one that
Very
they've got
shiny.
on. Yeah, it looks amazing. I want to find a good picture of it.
Just go to Hasbullah's Twitter account.
I ain't
It was
going to
like
his Twitter
the
account.
third to last post that he posted.
I got Google, bro.
Okay.
There you go. Look at that thing. That
Oh
thing
yeah,
is
I've
a
seen that.
beauty. Wonderful. And I mean, obviously, there's Snoop Dogg at the launch party, so it's probably him. Bianca Belair defeated Chelsea Green. Afterwards, Carmella attacks. This wasn't like the strongest match or anything, but this was the natural progression. Carmella and Chelsea. Carmella and Chelsea still a unit, which I like. I don't want to see a can they coexist match with Asuka and Bianca Belair. I don't. Like, okay, so Bianca has handled each one of them individually. Asuka has sprayed mist into Chelsea Green's face. There have been like no wins on the part of Carmella and Chelsea. Why do these two women care? And you know what else I don't like? We talk about the Bray Wyatt creative, and now Asuka is in almost the same boat. She comes out, she smiles, you got the dye in her mouth. At least when a shitty horror movie comes out, it's just like once every year or two. We see the same like 4-minute shitty horror movie every week. They book Asuka or Bray Wyatt on TV. It's never anything that different. Oh, she smiled and she's got dye in her mouth. Can we get a new idea? Can we do something else? We get it. She chewed her little tablet before, and she's intimidating. There's so much more that can be unlocked with this character on this run specifically. But I'm still sitting here watching the same thing. These two women deserve so much more than the creative that is presented to them. And I had people say, oh, well, they're both baby faces. You got to be careful. Jon Moxley and Hangman Page are both baby faces. Guess what they did? They beat the living shit out of each other every single week. I would love to see Asuka and Bianca beating the living shit out of each other instead of same shit.
So, I mean, I've literally been saying this from the very beginning, and I kind of feel bad because I knew this is exactly what we were going to get, Sean. I knew the second they just decided to put whoever, like everybody that they put in the Elimination Chamber, I knew the second that they announced the people that were going to be in the Elimination Chamber, I knew that they pretty much had given up on actually building a legitimate story. And then I thought, okay, well, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to give it a chance. And the second that Asuka wins, I'm expecting for this thing to heat up. It never did. And it kept going and going. And nothing ever actually happened. So I feel like I saw this coming from the second that this match was announced at Elimination Chamber when they said that this was how they were going to decide Bianca Belair's opponent. And I even kind of felt a little bad because I saw everybody was like really excited. And I started thinking like, why is everyone so excited? Like, we're not going to get anything like super major here. I could tell already. You saw it like a mile away. So for me, I kind of feel like this is just like same exact thought that I've had from the very beginning. I know the match is going to be good, but they haven't done anything in between to actually make you care about the feud. So that's the major thing that I feel is taken from it. And I hate that because I'm an Asuka fan. I think a lot of people here are Asuka fans. I think a lot of people are rooting for Asuka. And then you're kind of not giving us any, like, when she comes out and you, like you said, you have her do the little tablet thing and the teeth are a different color and all of this, it's not, after you've seen it once, you've seen it twice, you need to see something a little bit different, right? So that's where I'm at on that. And then, but I will say this though, when she came out and she freaking kicked Chelsea in the face, that was great. That was my favorite thing from everything, from the match, everything that happened, because that was freaking funny when they were just both attacking Chelsea Green. That was pretty funny. But yeah, I feel bad because it's making it like, it's hard to get behind the story, even though you care about both of these competitors.
I like Shane's idea. He says Asuka should have misted Bianca when she gave the belt back. Yeah. I completely agree. I would just love to see these two people act like they want to fight each other for some reason. And you know what? Asuka misting Bianca from the start would have done that. Bianca does not like being embarrassed. She's not going to be humiliated at all. She is the champ. She is Mrs. WrestleMania, and you don't mess with her. Nikki A says, I love the Fightful background, SRS. Well, thank you. We got another one as well. Hope you guys are liking the new looks we're giving. Says, are you guys excited about the women's matches for Mania despite no interesting storyline? I love the podcast. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm very excited for Rhea and Charlotte. I wish they would play off the fact that Charlotte has beaten Rhea before at Mania and beaten her many times. But big match Charlotte is different than just SmackDown Charlotte. She has incredible matches. And Rhea is, this is her moment. Bianca and Asuka, I already know that's going to be amazing. My expectations for that match, based on what I saw Bianca and Becky and Bianca and Sasha, should be WWE Match of the Year contender. And then the 6-woman tag, I'm very excited for that just because I like everybody involved. How about you, Denise?
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to Charlotte and Rhea, mainly because, again, I'm just a fan of both of them and where they're at. And because, like you said, this is Rhea's moment and we all know it. And same thing with what I just said about Bianca and Asuka, mainly just that I'm waiting for the actual matchup.
Cody says, but what do you think about Alex during ad reads? He's great. Not So Magical Mike says, kind of wish the Asuka-Bianca feud had a heel. Either one of them could have properly filled that role. Even post during Mania turn works for me. So usually heels in WWE play off of jealousy or insecurity and all that. Thus far, I don't see a reason for Bianca to be jealous of anybody or insecure about anybody. And if you've ever interviewed her or seen an interview with her, she ain't a natural asshole. She, like Denise, I remember you saying that every question she answers is like the first time she's answered a question.
It's true.
And that is, and she's been asked all that shit 50 times. That she has. So I think that they can channel some of the NXT stuff, but I think that eventually she'll be given a reason to play off of that. People want to like Asuka. So I think the just two very, very top dogs going at each other should be enough to create that friction, the competition between them. KO's backstage. He does not want Cody's help. He doesn't want Sammy's help. He's sick of all that shit. He's sick of all of it, Denise.
No means no. Thoughts? No means no. I was hoping that. Sorry, it's because I'm expecting someone and I'm afraid that they're going to ring the doorbell any minute.
Oh, man.
Okay, so what do you call it? What no means no with Kevin Owens basically coming out and earlier in that backstage promo, he was basically saying, like, I don't want anyone's help. And I kept thinking, oh, that means someone's clearly going to come out again and help him again, even though he said no to Cody helping him, no to Sami Zayn helping him, no to all these people. So that portion I liked, and I was even kind of hoping I was hoping to make a joke about it because I was hoping that someone would come out so that I could be like, damn it, Kevin Owens said no and no means no, but I couldn't make my jokes. So I was like, damn. But anyways, should I get into the match now or wait until?
Yeah, we can go ahead and get into the match. Kevin Owens, just an unbelievable spot on those chairs. That suplex was insane. They make their way backstage. The Usos attack, lead to the finish that we saw in this street fight. I thought the match was fun. I thought it was good. That spot on the chairs, though, I'll always be like, Jesus Christ. Kevin Owens is just always going to be that guy that does insane shit, Denise.
He is. And this was really good. I like the way that first of all, Kevin Owens and Solo Sikoa have something in common, and that is that they always bring intensity to what they do. And I think that's part of the reason why you're seeing this big push for Solo Sikoa is that every time he goes out there, he always makes a pretty big impact, man. And you see that even the closing of today's show where he's just literally yelling into the camera, and the dude looks like a beast. Okay. So that was pretty good. But the part that I primarily liked was pretty much the setup. them having them working their way to the back, and I wasn't expecting to see the Usos. I wasn't expecting to see Kevin Owens get super kicked in the face that way, the way that they did it. So for me, I loved that part where they went to the back and all of a sudden you just see him get super kicked in the face. That was really good. But I primarily liked him getting dragged out into the ring. I thought the way that they did the dragging was actually my favorite part of the whole thing. And then, him getting the win, it was good. It felt strong. I was a fan of this. This was a really good way, in my opinion, to end Raw, because it got me excited not only about, some of the bigger stories and everything involving the bloodline, but it got me excited about a person that is not yet an established star on the show, but is on the rise. So they did a good job of getting me excited about Solo Sikoa with this ending.
Yeah, it is very clearly a concentrated effort to protect Solo Sikoa for something. And I don't think that Triple H protects talent just for no reason. I think he's probably got something in mind. I mean, in the previous regime, they accidentally had Aleister Black go on a 1-year undefeated streak. And then when they realized that, they're like, oh, well, he's going to lose to Seth next week and we're not going to mention it. I don't see that happening here. I think there's probably a reason for all of this. Justin Smith says, have you heard anything about Naomi returning? No, she's doing Wale Mania and WrestleCon. I know WWE wanted her, but I don't know. Amish Electrician says, Asuka not spitting was a missed opportunity.
Good play on words.
That was good. Guys, I'll tell you one more time, subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. In addition to big news like we had today with the Bray Wyatt stuff, where we're correcting reports, to the Steve Austin stuff, which it's so wild, Denise. Last year, I reported Steve Austin was coming out of retirement, and the next day, nobody cared because of Cody Rhodes. Today, it's like, oh, hey, he's been pitched for more stuff. And it's like, yeah, but what about Bray? Unbelievable. But in addition to that, you get like 40 podcasts a month, pay-per-view reviews, previews, Q&A shows. Also, we got Grapsody shows over there as well. Japanese wrestling podcasts, indie wrestling podcasts over there. Early interview access, early notes from our interviews. We have averaged over 2 exclusive news posts per day since Fightful Select started. It's more like 100 a month now. So just $5. You get that stuff direct, and you can always ask us questions about the stories there as well. We got a wealth of interviews this week, but I know Denise has got a lot going on as well. It's a busy time of year, Denise. What do you got?
It is. Tons of stuff. YouTube.com/Denise Salcedo. You can see all of my interviews, all of my content up there. YouTube.com/Denise Salcedo.
We don't do a lot of 90-minute Raw reviews anymore, but lots of news today. Guys, thank you all so much. We're here every weeknight. Till next time, we're out.